What's good, guys? Welcome to No Capes Required, episode 3. I'm Sky Merida, and if you haven't noticed, I have a great special guest. This is not Jason Reyes, but
No, I'm not Jason.
this is my man, Doug Gardner, or would you prefer Douglas or Doug?
Doug's cool. I'm Doug. What's going on, everybody? Great to be here. Sky, thanks for letting me come on your show, man. Ready to get into it, man.
Yeah, so, let's just dive on in.
This kid, I'm ready. I'm ready.
Let's talk about Jump Force, the new hit fighting game, and Doug can't wait to talk about it.
I'm so ready for this.
So in honor of Shonen Jump's 50th anniversary, the popular manga company that's known for hit series such as Dragon Ball, Naruto, and One Piece, among others, many others. So Bandai Namco and company have created a fighting game to include Shonen Jump's most popular heroes and villains all in one game. It's basically, to sum it up, it's almost like anime's version of either Super Smash Bros. Or even Avengers. Just kind of like just accumulation of all the greatest shonen heroes. They have, a backstory, and they're all put into one fighting game.
Yeah.
So just from that alone, this game has gotten tons of hype. I've been one of the ones that have been hyped for so long since this game has been announced. Me and Doug have now officially played it. It came out just last weekend. So, Doug, what are your initial thoughts?
Well, first of all, okay, I just want to say, because of the previous games like J-Stars, and J-Stars has never really been a good game to me. It was always a good concept, but they always were lacking with mechanics, like simple mechanics. All the characters felt stiff, but with Jump Force, I feel like they've added that extra punch. Honestly, I think it's in the conversation with Super Smash Bros.
Ooh.
For real, for real.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, even though it probably doesn't have the experience that Super Smash Bros. Had. They've had a long time to work out kinks, to work out, different problems they've had with their games to make it run smoother. This is a huge step up from J-Stars.
First off, I just want to say that for the gameplay, it's pretty awesome. I was definitely looking forward to the graphics are a lot better than in J-Stars. I mean, it's just a game like that. So J-Stars was a game that was sort of had the same concept of putting like these Shonen Jump characters together. It was, I think, made like a few years back, but it didn't have this type of graphics or this type of, I would say, play style for anime. So the fact that we're getting that in this type of game is awesome. But I think what's really cool, even though the story's, so-so, it's kind of almost a ripoff of Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse a little bit. But to be honest, like, what's cool about it is that you get to create your own hero. So if you ever just wish, looking at Dragon Ball, like, man, I wish I could fight with Goku, or I actually wish I could fight with Naruto or Luffy, you can do that in this game. You basically get to customize your character almost like the, how in NBA 2K you have a My Player, you get to basically an anime My Player for, Jump Force.
I mean, like, when you can really go into detail with the features of your character, which I really like. Like, you can add all sorts of markings, tattoos from different like series and stuff like that. Change the color, and I haven't gotten too deep within the clothing, but I did like how they had different clothing from all the different J-Star series and Shonen series. So I keep calling it J-Stars. I don't know why, bro. But
it needs to settle in. But I guess, if I was going to, we're talking about all the good in this game. So one of the things that I think could be improved on is just some little bit tampering with the roster, and I'm not necessarily hating on the roster at all. I think the 40 characters they have in it are a good group, but I will say that there are some characters that I kind of want to see that I was surprised that they didn't have. So for Yu Yu Hakusho, I was surprised Hiei wasn't in it. I was surprised that, since they added Yugi, I thought Kaiba would be in it. So, I mean, there's, Todoroki from My Hero Academia. So, like, some of those characters I would have liked to see in the game. But that's always going to be because there are so many characters to choose from for Shonen Jump that you're not going to make everybody happy. But I think what they could have done a little bit better is just more variety, because so from the 3 main series, meaning Naruto, One Piece, and Dragon Ball, like I've mentioned a bunch of times, they have 18 characters between those 3 series. 18 out of the 40. That's a lot of representation. Do you feel like that's a good amount or too much, considering how popular those 3 series are?
I'm not mad at it at all, actually. Although I do understand what you're saying with that. There's 18 characters. There's a lot of characters from these 3 series, but those are 3 front series.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? Those are the series that really have made anime in general as big as it's become.
Sure.
Without Dragon Ball Z, One Piece, and Naruto, in the States at least, people would not be as into anime as they are today. So you have to include those many characters from those series, because those are the characters that a lot of the fans over here at least can relate to.
No, yeah, for sure. I mean, I definitely understand why they did it. I just wanted maybe a little bit more variety in terms of just seeing characters that from different series. But I think the biggest issue, I would say, in terms of Jump Force, and I can't give them really any excuses for this, the lack of female representation. So there are only 3, yes, I can count them on my one hand, 3 characters, 3 female characters in this entire game that are playable. And that would be, I can even name Rukia, Boa Hancock, Kaguya. So I can count just those 3 are the only female characters you're going to get for now. Now, hopefully, there are going to be DLC characters, female characters. We expect there to be female DLC characters, but the way that the percentages are right now, it's not looking too good. But is that really an oversight, you feel like, by Bandai Namco? Like, why would they only include 3 characters, you think, like female characters?
I think it is. And you're right. That's a great observation, Sky. I don't really know the exact reason why Bandai Namco has not included these characters, these female characters, because there's a great selection of strong female characters that I think could benefit their game. But personally, and this is a little bias, I don't want to play a Sakura. Or Hinata, for real. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and in Dragon Ball Z, there's not too many female fighter characters.
Android 18.
Android 18, that's true. Yeah. You could put in Android 18, but other than that, unless you're taking from like Dragon Ball Super, which they could do. I don't know why, Sky. I don't know. They could have included some characters from Super in the 18, or at least the portion from Dragon Ball. But I think they need to, moving forward, I think they need to include some female characters in some DLC or something.
It is true that some of the main female protagonists that you think of aren't in Shonen Jump, like, Akame from Akame got killed,
that would be
or what's her name, Ryuko Matoi from Kill la Kill. So those are, there are some female protagonists, I get it, that maybe aren't with Shonen Jump, but the thing is, there's no excuse when you have 50 years of Shonen Jump. We mentioned Android 18, we mentioned Tsunade, we could mention, what's her name, Urza Scarlet from Fairy Tail. I mean, there's a lot of female characters to choose from, so the fact that there are only 3, I feel like, is a letdown. So for most MCU fans, the anticipation for Captain Marvel couldn't be any higher. But there are some that apparently aren't hyped for the movie, even though in early screening it's gotten overwhelmingly positive reactions. But there are some people that have some beef, and those people are on Rotten Tomatoes, the Rotten Tomatoes users. But it's not even with the movie itself, it's with Brie Larson. Wow. So I'm going to read some of the comments. So
let them know.
So let me just catch everybody up to speed.
Please.
They seem to be mad at a direct response to press that she did ahead of the release of Captain Marvel. And she called for more inclusion and diversity among film critics. And so she had this quote, "I don't need a 40-year-old white dude to tell me what didn't work about A Wrinkle in Time. It wasn't made for him. I want to know what it meant to women of color, biracial women, to teen women of color." And so that quote triggered some users and reviewers on Rotten Tomatoes who said, I somehow feel, and this is one quote, I somehow feel that Skull, I'm guessing they meant to say Skrull, are not the enemy, but that I am. Since Brie Larson has been careful to state she doesn't want the press tour to include types like me.
They're taking this way too personal.
Yeah, that's where so I think, look, I mean, I get why, maybe she could have phrased it better, definitely, but I feel like people definitely misheard her point. They paid attention to the top part, whereas I feel like, or no, I don't need a 40-year-old white dude to tell me basically what to do or what, A Wrinkle in Time should be.
Yeah, to me, real quick, I'm sorry.
No, for sure.
That points out the demographic that got mad. Because like the 40-year-old white man, I feel like it was probably some 40-year-old white men that were like, well, dang, hold on, man. but this is they are tripping.
My fear is that they could give it a bad rating just because Brie Larson hurt their feelings, basically. And so that's my fear for the movie. I still think it's going to make money, but I guess now the question is how much, and if this little in their feelings moment, is going to impact it by giving it a bad review, and maybe not as many people will see it. Like, do you feel like it could have any impact?
Well, the time we live in right now is a very sensitive time. Like, you can't really make fun of anybody anymore publicly within within a media entertainment aspect without some group getting upset.
That's true.
No, I don't think this will ruin. It might ruin the Rotten Tomatoes rating. But I don't think this will ruin like box office sales. Like ticket sales. I think people are still gonna want to see this movie just because it's Marvel, and Marvel's been putting out a lot of great movies. Like, they've been putting out the heat. So I don't think that will affect them when people go into the movies. But with reviews and blog sites, I think there might be some people that got a little tickled. It might take it a little too personal. So.
Yeah, I think that you hit it right on the money. I don't think it will have too much of a hindrance on the box office results because honestly, so Venom, even though I enjoyed some of the film, like, it wasn't rated highly of Rotten Tomatoes, but it still made a ton of money worldwide, and that was like 30-something% on Rotten Tomatoes. So ultimately, even though Rotten Tomatoes can sometimes, be a contributor, it's not always. And if you like a movie, if you want to go see it, you'll still go see this movie. And for a movie, like you said, it's in the MCU, but it's also the first movie with an MCU female lead. That's gonna make bank. Like, that's going to make bank, and not even to mention that's the film before Endgame. So everybody is craving for, to see Captain Marvel and know how she's going to fit into the story, of the Avengers, and how she's going, what her abilities are, and how is she going to help against Thanos. Everybody's gonna want to know.
You have to see this movie if you want to. And this is a great move by Marvel too, and by the studios, directors, the writers. Like, the way that they have to introduce this movie, because they left off Infinity War at a cliffhanger. You to be able to see the Endgame movie, you have to see Captain Marvel, or you'll just be like, well, what's going on? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
So this. Like we said, I don't think this is not going to affect their box office tickets. I think there's just some people online that were upset and a little butthurt. But other than that, I think this movie's going to be good.
Do you like Jessica Jones and The Punisher? Well, that's too bad, because they are canceled. Yes, I am sorry for all those fans out there. But if you were looking for another season of Jessica Jones or another season of The Punisher, you might have to wait a while. Because at least you won't be able to catch them on Netflix, because the series has been canceled. And if you were wondering why the series has been canceled, let me just read this description from The Hollywood Reporter, because it seems like there are some people that they're not sure necessarily what the reason is, but according to The Hollywood Reporter, Netflix did not have an ownership stake in any of its Marvel TV series, each of the 6 Marvel shows, meaning that's stemming back from Iron Fist, back to Luke Cage, and then to Daredevil, all of those Marvel series, each of those shows was owned by Disney, and Disney is increasingly focused on populating its upcoming service.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so, are you disappointed by this?
Honestly, Netflix puts out so many shows that I didn't really even notice.
Yeah.
I kind of forgot about Jessica Jones. Luke Cage, I watched season 1. Daredevil, I got up to where the Punisher came in.
Yeah.
Punisher, I've watched both seasons, but like I'm not really that mad because Netflix just keeps putting out fire. So, I mean, I'm gonna be sad that this stuff is gonna go away, but I think they'll come back because they got great responses from fans. I think they'll just be on a different platform.
Well, yeah, so Disney is upcoming because I know that they're trying to make like a series for Scarlet Witch coming up, which includes Vision. So they're going for, I'm thinking that they're heading towards more like MCU heroes that maybe aren't getting their own solo movies, getting their Netflix, like Scarlet Witch. And Vision's also going to be included in that apparently. So, you know, that could be cool. I'm a little bit surprised because I felt like people were watching these shows. So you had said, I guess, some people were falling back on Luke Cage.
Yeah, after that first season, I didn't, at least in my general, ecosystem, I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
I didn't see as many people really watching Luke Cage as much. A person that I go to for a lot of like movie criticisms and show criticisms, he even said that he was uninterested in Luke Cage's second season. So, the one I am surprised about is Jessica Jones.
Yeah, no, that was popular. That was a lot of people were highly acclaimed. People were saying really good stuff about it. I'm still watching season 2. It's really good. Yeah. I mean, and so I was surprised with Jessica Jones. That's the one I think. And I feel like The Punisher, some people were saying some good stuff about that. So
it's a good show.
Yeah, I mean, look, some of these shows, Iron Fist, there was really no surprise. But no, there was no surprise with Iron Fist. Yeah. But no, I mean, it was interesting that, just one after the other. I think after Daredevil got canceled, after season 3 is when I felt like, okay, they're just going to shut them all down because everybody was hyping up Daredevil. Season 3, everybody was saying that was the best season yet. And so for them to cancel it at that point, that was kind of an indicator that they're just going to cancel everything.
Yeah, and also my theory is that Netflix as a company is just getting way too big. A lot of these companies that are leasing off their shows to Netflix don't want them to have that much power in them taking all of the fan base. So a lot of these companies like Disney, who's introducing a streaming service in Disney Plus, are removing their shows so that the fans that love those shows on Netflix and gave them all that power will come to them.
And now it's time for one of our favorite segments, Twitter Question of the Week. And so let's revisit last week's Twitter Question of the Week, which was, if these heroes competed in a dunk contest, who would win? The options were Spider-Man, Hulk, Elastigirl, and Nightcrawler. And the winner, with 43% of the vote, is Spider-Man. Any surprises there, Doug?
No, not really. Honestly, though, I think Elastigirl could have been... What place did Elastigirl play?
She was second, 33%.
Yeah, because Elastigirl and Spider-Man, they're both very... the word keep escaping.
Dynamic.
Dynamic. Acrobatic. That's what it was.
Flexible,
They're both very acrobatic. I could definitely see Spider-Man going between the legs while he's in the air, throwing it up, webbing it back, slam dunking it, going windmill through the dunk, He
might be able to jump from full court and dunk it in. Like, he's got those kind of hops.
Yeah, he would. Elastigirl could do a lot of good stuff, too, but...
No, she could. She would do the Space Jam dunk like it was MJ, so...
She wouldn't even have to jump.
Exactly. I mean, so... Yeah, I agree. Those two are the most dynamic, but I gave the edge to Spider-Man. Yeah. So these votes definitely were emblematic of what I thought. Nightcrawler was 3rd, Hulk 4th. I mean,
Hulk's just going to smash the rim. That's all he's doing.
Yeah, I mean, look, it would be amazing probably just by the sheer force for the first attempt, but after a while, I mean, people are just going to be mad about reconstructing the back.
They're going to run out of hoops. They're gonna run out of baskets.
No, exactly. So it's like, you got to do this someplace else.
You got to do this someplace else.
But anyways, now it's time to, I guess not reveal, because if you've been following at Zero Capes Required, you now know. But yeah, so this week's Twitter question of the week is, with the Oscars coming up, who would you most want to see host the Oscars? And here are the 4 options: Tony Stark, aka Iron Man, Deadpool, Edna, and the Joker. So I think it's a pretty good batch, a pretty good list.
It's a great list.
Who are you going with, Doug?
This is a hard list, man. I'm really torn between, because I want to see Tony Stark just because I feel like he's super witty and kind of a dick, and it's funny when he's a dick. So
no, exactly.
I would love to see what he does and what he says to the celebrities coming up on stage.
Yeah.
But Deadpool would just be breaking the fourth wall. He would be just saying the most ridiculous things. To me, right now, I'm between Tony Stark and Deadpool.
Yeah, no, I think all of them, there's no bad choices there. I mean, maybe the Joker just because he'd killed the audience, but you get a good laugh out of it at least.
He would.
I mean, he would say some cool jokes. I think
funny.
Edna would be hilarious. She would also probably have a fashion runway and would be dissing the fashion disasters.
Yeah.
So that would be funny. Yeah, Tony Stark would be a very good traditional host, but why I give the edge to Deadpool is sort of like you were saying, not only just the fourth wall breaking, but his knowledge of pop culture is unrivaled.
That's true.
And not only that, the fact that he was in movies, he would be trying to act out all the scenes from like the Best Picture movies nominated as himself. So he would be trying to do Black Panther, he would reveal the mask under him and it would be him. So he would be doing all of that, whether it's Black Panther, Star is Born, and Roma, whatever the movie is, he would be doing the scenes with himself, and that would be hilarious. And I think there's just so much that Deadpool can do, so much that I want to see him do it. So Ryan Reynolds, if you're listening to this, just do it, bro. Just put on the mask, put on the suit, and just host the Oscars, because nobody, and I mean nobody, will be disappointed. And that's going to do it for this week's episode of No Capes Required. Be sure to follow at Zero Capes Required on Twitter for more content, as well as vote on Twitter question of the week. Be sure to follow me at Fly to the Sky 11, and Fly to the Sky.
Fly to the Sky.
For just some more content, as well as some sneaker content or sports content. I talk about that, as well as superheroes. Doug doesn't have a Twitter, so I wish you could follow him, but it's not. One day, maybe. But I so much appreciate you for being on the show.
Thanks for having me. I hope I can come back again, do some topics again with you. This was a great time.
Yeah, so hopefully we can do that, but until then, we'll see you next time.